Well, what happens, the officer either pulls you over for what's usually a minor traffic infraction, or perhaps it's at a DUI checkpoint, one of the two. And as the officer approaches the vehicle, you will roll down the window. He'll ask for your license, your registration, and proof of insurance. And as you provide those documents and the officer is going over them, the officer will almost always say they smell the odor of an intoxicating beverage emanating from the vehicle or the person. And that is where they have their reasonable suspicion or the probable cause, which always leads the officer to ask, have you been drinking? And many times my clients answer, yes, I've had 1 or 2 beers or 1 or 2 drinks. It is an admission that suddenly the officer has all the probable cause that he needs to continue his stop for a DUI. Then at that point, he goes and gets what is known as a portable breath test, or PBT. And he will either ask the person to step out of the vehicle usually, or in some cases they will actually remain in the vehicle, blow into the portable breath test. Now, the portable breath test is not what really counts here. It is just giving him further information. It's just testing whether or not there's alcohol on your breath. He can't use the actual readout on it in court because it doesn't have the calibrations required. At that point, the officer will take you to a big DUI machine that's called an intoxilizer. Often it rides around in an SUV in Mississippi, or the officer takes you down to the station and you blow into the big intoxilizer there. And it prints a very detailed readout. It is calibrated. It is certified by the Mississippi Crime Lab. The officer has to be certified to operate that intoxilizer. And at that point, that readout is what we're looking at. If it's a .08 or greater, then you're going to be charged with a DUI first offense based on that alone. Now, if you blow at that portable breath test and it's a really, really, really low alcohol readout, the officer may ask you to do some field sobriety test. Or if it's a no alcohol readout, he may suspect that it is marijuana or some other substance that is impairing you. And they will do the appropriate field sobriety test, which you are not required to do. In fact, a refusal doesn't occur until you refuse to blow in the intoxilizer in Mississippi. And if you fail the field sobriety test, at which point the officer will then obviously book you for a DUI first offense. And often we see people with below a .08 blood alcohol content having field sobriety tests used against them in a court of law, and that can often be a determining factor.